What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Served on the Rocks. I am Charlie Sardelli.
And I am Jameson Amoros.
And as you guys can see, we are missing a third leg of the tripod.
We're missing the casting couch. This is what it is.
Damn it.
The velvet casting couch.
Yes, this does feel a little bit too
Snug.
Yeah, well, not snug. I would say non-sexual for me.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
you know,
It's a little bit too formal.
the silk couch usually does it for me. But unfortunately, Oscar was taken out by a bug this week. But today's his birthday, so happy birthday, Oscar.
Oscar, happy birthday, brother. Hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, man. Sorry you're not here with us today to enjoy this fine bourbon, but you're getting better, and we're looking forward to having you back.
Yes, sir.
Guys, remember, we drop our video episodes weekly on the YouTube channel, as well as weekly on all streaming platforms, Apple TV, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of them, right? So please be sure to tune in. Thank you guys so much for the continued support that you've been giving us. I mean, we just launched the channel, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Right? I mean, officially a week ago, really.
Yeah.
Right? And we're already at almost 20 subscribers, so thank you guys so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool to see what we're doing actually take hold for you guys and actually have a bit of a purpose, you know?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of comments just from people watching some of the videos saying that they've gotten information that they didn't have previously, which is the whole reason we do this. Right?
Exactly. That's the whole point. Exactly.
You know, we're obviously realtors in Colorado, and we'd love for you guys to give it a shout and use us. But if you can take this knowledge and make your own experience better, smoother, more profitable, whatever that looks like, ultimately that's what the goal is. So.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it was really cool, especially after last week. I've got people in high school that that have joined the military, moved away, and one of my best friends is in Arizona right now. And you had it out too. It's like, hey man, can you answer any questions on VA loans for me? Actually, here's episode 16.
Exactly. Minute mark 22.
Right. Well, and for today's episode, guys, what we're gonna do for you is we're gonna give a little bit of kind of a market update on inventory, stuff like that. And based on that information, what we're gonna do is try and give you 3 or 4 things that you can do to help you sell your home and basically add value in that higher net.
Yes, we always say that in this market, in any industry, right, if you're not in it every single day, the average consumer is 3 to 4 months behind.
Yep.
Right? Perfect example is what we've seen with interest rates and buyers coming in using rate buydowns and concessions. Guys, the interest rates were this high in November.
Yep.
And nobody was buying anything. And then all of a sudden, home prices actually increased a little bit. And now we're in March, and we're seeing people buying at these interest rates using the things that we were talking about back in September and October of last year.
Yep.
So it's not a knock on anybody, but this is part of the big driving force of why we wanted to do this, is to arm you guys with information before most people. And this is going to be a scenario where the things that we're going to talk about around how do you get your home ready to sell is not hey, you should go out and renovate things. It's we're seeing a shift that I think is going to take hold in the next 4 to 6 months. And the goal is to get you guys prepared and ahead of the curve. So when that does happen and you guys do decide to list, you're already there.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the most important part of that as well is that, we're not just saying this to have you spend money. Like Jameson is saying, these are things that you can do to help prepare for what's coming.
Yep.
And another thing that you can do to help prepare for things is drink fine bourbon, which I think we do that weekly.
Sure.
Right?
Weekly. Not daily.
Not at all.
Weekly.
Right?
Yes. Weekly.
But today's bourbon, we, of course, as we normally do, we took a couple sips beforehand.
Quality control.
That's right. You have to make sure it's not poison.
We're here for you guys.
That's right. If we just...
Yeah, exactly. You can't just, I got to know what I'm drinking before I drink it.
Exactly. But it's Blue Note, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
based out of Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. I like it. And for me, this is pretty close to home. Coming from Western North Carolina, and I tell the story all the time. I've actually had Popcorn Sutton's moonshine. And it's always cool for me to get something back from that area, especially because they do it a little bit differently. And I know that the weather out there is ridiculous compared to some predictability that you have in Kentucky. The humidity alone in Tennessee is way different. So it does a little bit different to the aging process and the taste overall. And then this one here uses French oak barrels, right? And they were talking about how with this bottle, the reason that they use French oak is because it has a different space in the pores.
Yeah, so the grain is tighter. And when the grain's tighter, you get a more tannins are released into the alcohol, which numbs some of the spirit. So, you'll see French oak barrels and barrels of that type on higher proof liquors.
Yeah.
Because it takes some of the bite out. So anytime you introduce some tannins, it mellows out a little bit of that heat that we normally talk about in a high proof. This is a 100 proof bottle. So they use the French oak barrels to give it a little bit more mellow of a taste. And then it adds some of that charred aftertaste that you can get when you use a French charred oak barrel.
Well, I mean, and I like that the reason that they do that is to enforce the flavor.
Yes.
Because we've seen it in the past. A lot of these bourbons, they want to go more natural with it. They don't really want to enhance the tannins, which basically those are the molecules, the flavor in the bourbon that gives you that, what Oscar likes to say, leather or dirt or grass, the flavor, right? Horse manure. You've seen that one. Yeah. But that's an important note, is that now this is a bourbon that is trying to complement those tannins instead of kind of just go, no, we're going with the taste of the wood kind of a thing. So honestly, I'm excited to see how this one opens up throughout the episode.
Yeah. I think the point was they wanted a higher proof, higher proof that was easy to drink. Right. And you could still enjoy it. You don't get, like Oscar says all the time, you get that fire.
Yes.
This mellows it out for sure. And you can still taste it.
You know what I think we should do? That I want to have they don't have to be on for the whole episode, but I want to have somebody who's not a normal bourbon drinker on the episode, just so we can get that, maybe like a little cut to them. Like, this is what their face look like. Right. Ultimately, because a lot of the times we do see people go, oh, well, yeah, you guys describe flavor, but I just get a burn. And I think it was Michael on last week's episode when he first tasted it. He was like, I'm getting the burn. I haven't gotten the caramel or anything yet.
Yeah, it's just like a quick indoctrination of people. Yeah,
hold on, it's coming.
Yeah, so the oak barrels, just to go French oak barrels. And I wanted to get this right, just because one, they're expensive barrels. So if you're using them for a reason. Right? These things run $1,500 a barrel just for the barrel to buy at minimum. So essentially what they do is it's a subtle and firmer flavor. The tannins, though, are silkier because of how tight the wood grain is. So it's a more savory flavor is kind of what they're going for, which then complements that high proof that we were talking about.
Well, yeah, and even you think about, we've talked about the caramelization of the wood, the sugars in the wood. Yep. Having that tighter green is going to leave a more concentrated sweetness.
Yeah, and these guys do a bunch of different, they have 7 or 8 different bourbons. They're aged differently. They have an 18-year or 10-year. They have a 17-year that's fantastic that I've had once before with one of the other realtors that we worked with. And, it's fantastic. They call it the juke joint whiskey. So it's got that kind of jazz feel. It's Memphis.
Well, I like here. Let me see if I can show you guys here. But on the bottle, you have the classic blues. Yeah, blues shroud here with the with the guitar on his back. So this one doesn't really have an interesting story, but I would like to think that,
make it up, baby.
Well, the way that I like to think about it is, the gentleman just got done playing a night of music, playing good jazz and some blues, and he's walking down the road. And he gets to a crossroads, and
in life, or just
at a crossroads, right? In Tennessee, just after getting done playing some blues, and all of a sudden, as he walks up, the lights start to flicker. Things get a little bit darker, clouds roll in, and then out of nowhere, a bottle appears in the center of the crossroads. And the guitar player is questionable, but it's been a long night. So he goes over and picks up the bottle, pops a cap, and smells it, and he takes a sip. And the next thing he knows, he's playing front of stage in front of a crowd of people, and he is the next Elvis Presley.
Love it.
That's my story.
That's exactly how this was bottled. Right? I don't know how you did that. I gave you no prior research, and you just nailed it on the head.
Perfect.
That was amazing. You even got the guy's name right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
What was his name?
Blue.
Yep. There it is. Good old
last name note.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy, Blue. Well, I'm excited to taste this and see if we also end up on stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somewhere.
Thank you for pouring it, because now it's it's a little more open than it was. So let's go ahead and get it. Cheers.
You gotta be really careful with that glass. I've almost knocked it over.
You're done.
I feel like weighted.
Right. I will say definitely
tinges the nostrils.
Hot on the. All I can think about is Anchorman.
Tinges the
nostrils.
That's what
my
little
food?
Blue said when he found it in the middle of the street.
When he sniffed it at first?
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
it was. It was his spirit.
As a matter of fact, that was the first song he wrote after buying this bottle or finding this bottle was Tinging of the Nostrils.
Nostril tinge.
The nostril tinges. It's a classic bluegrass song that you guys have probably never heard of, but you're missing out.
It's fantastic. I will say definitely, like you said though, that there is a heat on the nose, but I get through it for sure. You get that sweetness through it. That's not bad, man.
No, it's really not.
That's not bad. First impression. That's
$40 bottle,
yeah.
or not find it in the middle of the street on a rainy night. Free.
Yeah. By the spirit. Ultimately, definitely getting that caramel.
Mm-hmm.
And again, guys, I'm sorry. Just to let you in, I eat a king size Reese cup before every episode. So a lot of my flavors come from the sweet.
You're the Marshawn Lynch of podcasts.
That's me, baby.
Shoveling Skittles in your mouth.
That's right. I'll see if I can get it behind the scenes for you guys, or I'm just huddled in the corner eating my Reese cup.
Yep.
Hey, it's intimidating, all right? You gotta get it for all these people. Do it right, you know. But ultimately, I'm still very excited to see how this opens up.
Yeah.
We opened it up a little bit earlier, but just in that amount of time that you poured it already, that burn is kind of gone for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's there, don't get me wrong, and you definitely get that when you breathe in. You feel the burn at the back of your throat, but the flavor sits on the tongue.
It is. It's a really good flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good flavor.
The complexity of it.
Yeah, it doesn't overpower it. Yeah, it's the burn melts into it. I like it.
That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Spice too, definitely. I want to say like cardamom. I'm almost tasting that kind of a spice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. More, not really like spicy as far as heat wise, but more floral of a spice.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
for sure.
That. And I think that'll open up even more as.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm gonna go ahead and set it down here for a second. So I mean, as we look at this market coming up, we do see a lot of these new build homes, like we talked about 2 weeks ago. The sentiment is going up. They have a little bit more confidence in building now.
Yes. Yeah. So the National Association of Home Builders comes out every month, and they come out with a builder confidence index, right? And the big story going up through essentially December, like basically all of last year, was we had 12 straight months of declining sentiment, meaning the builders were not as optimistic about the current market. And when that happens, a couple things happen. Number one, you start to see home prices go down on new construction. You start to see incentives pile up. We talked a little bit about that a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
And then you see new build permits being pulled go down because they're afraid that if they dig too many holes, they're not going to be able to sell them. And just as a kind of a background, the way new build communities work is they buy the land, right?
Mm-hmm.
The development. So let's say it's a Richmond, a Lennar, Meritage, whoever it is. They're going to buy, and they're the track homes, we call them. Some people have worse names for them. I call them track homes. And they'll buy land, and then obviously they're not paying cash for that land, right?
Yeah.
They're financing it.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do though is they have a deal with their lender that when they have that land, every month they have to sell a certain amount of homes on that land. And if they don't, they now have to pay extra interest on that loan. So it benefits them if they're not selling homes, so drop prices, add incentives, do all these different things. And you saw them not purchase as many lots and not build or not pull as many permits because the sentiment was going down.
Yeah.
When that happens, obviously inventory gets constrained. And we've said it before, we're in this weird thing where we have low inventory but high interest rates.
Yep.
So it's like it should be a seller's market, but homes are sitting because people can't afford it. So we're in this weird,
weird in between.
Weird.
Prices are still elevated with the elevated interest rates. So now we're in this position where it's like, okay, should I buy? Is there going to be a better time? And you're getting a lot of that waiting. Coming.
So for example, I mean, if you look at what people think the market's going to do as far as home valuations over the next year, it's all over the place. It's from some people are saying we're going to increase home values by 5% on the high end, and then by as low as 10% on the other side of the spectrum. So we really don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of this is speculation. We can have fundamentals that we talk about to kind of guide you guys in the right direction, but at the end of the day, it's such a subjective
There's too many
product. and there's too many factors.
Yeah.
There's things that are outside of our control that will affect supply, demand, all that kind of stuff. So when we talk about the new home builders, the reason we bring that up is because since January, so January, February, and now March, we've had 3 months in a row of positive builder sentiment, which means it's gone up. Now, it's not great, right? It's on a scale of 0 to 100, and we're at a 46 this month, but we were at a 44 last month. We were at a 37 in January. We were at a 33 in December, I believe is what those numbers were. Don't quote me on that. I'm going to be like 1 or 2 off.
Yeah.
It's around there. I'll pull it up here in a minute. But the point is, it declined from January to December of 2022. So far in 2023, we have 3 straight months of increase in sentiment.
Yeah.
Which means builders are now more likely to pull home permits, dig holes, which hopefully means that we're going to get more supply.
Yep. And what more supply will lead to is more competition for sellers.
Correct.
Right. And that's really what drove this conversation today is as we see this, this is going to be the first time or potential to be the first time in the last 3 to 4 years that you're really going to have to kind of edge your bets and invest to sell your house because you could be going up against somebody who's going to do these things and outsell you.
Yes.
Right.
If you look at it, so February, I just pulled the stats actually, so I'm just going to pull this up real quick. So
Yeah.
Accurate.
Yeah.
But, and this is Colorado specific.
Yes.
So.
Yes. But like we said in the past, the cool thing about Colorado is it has proven to be a market tell, basically.
Yeah. So this is why I say this market's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. People are like, hey, well, how's the market? I'm like, I don't fucking know. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's defying the laws of physics right now. But in February, and this just got updated a couple days ago, active listings are up 113%. Okay.
Wild.
So if I give you just that number, you're like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yep.
Until I tell you that the active listings, there's only 3,800. Right?
Yep.
So we're talking 100%. That means we were at like 2,300, somewhere around there, last February.
Yep.
So that's tight inventory. This is less tight, but for context, in 2007, the MLS, so the Colorado matrix, right, that lists how many homes are for sale, averaged 20,000 listings a month. We're at 3,800.
Yep.
And we have more people moving here than we did in 2008, right? So that's why I'm saying it's a weird market. The good news is supply's starting to creep back up.
Yep.
Now, the flip side of that and why this is so weird, the listings closed down 18% from that same February. So we're up 113% in active listings, but we're down in closed listings. And it's because as inventory is coming on the market, interest rates are still hovering in the mid to high 6s.
Yep.
So affordability is an issue.
Yep.
What we think is going to happen is as we go through this year, if interest rates fall, right? And we saw it a month ago when they went to like 5.875. Mortgage applications increased almost 30% just in that week.
Yeah, and it was like 28% over the weekend.
And as interest rates get lower, what's going to happen is this lockout thing that's happening in the middle, we call it the move up market, is going to start to dissipate. Because right now, 99% of homes in the United States have a mortgage rate under 6%. Okay. 75% have it under 5%. So those people have no reason, no impetus to sell their house and buy something else if they're going to have an interest rate that's almost 2% higher than what they have currently. However, as the interest rates start to come down, we'll start to see that loosen up a bit. And you still get that whole, hey, I had a kid, I need a new house. Or, hey, I got a job, I got to move. Or, hey, I'm working from home, I need bigger space. All those things are going to continue to build up. So we think that over the next 3 to 4, maybe call it 6 months, if we see inventory rates continue to increase, we see interest rates continue to decrease, the sellers are now going to go from, oh, I can just put my house on the market. And even if it's 30 days, it's still quicker than it was 2 years ago. So, okay, I'm competing with like 15, 20 other houses.
Exactly.
So how do I sell my house for top dollar if all of a sudden buyers are already wary because they don't want to spend too much because of interest rates, and now they have more choices? What's going to happen? Well, the same thing we talked about in September when people should be talking about rate buy downs, and they didn't until March.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, JMO, to answer your question, we've got 4 amazing things that sellers can do in order to help them.
Hey, Charlie, I have a question. What are 4 things that sellers can potentially do to help them?
Hey, Jameson,
I'd let him ask you.
I'd love to tell you.
My boy Blue told me to ask that question.
Oh, you heard it. I talked to the spirit.
See, he sang a song.
We just got it going now. It's in there.
Yeah, it was off his
so
with toasted nostrils.
What we see normally during these times of sales is people start looking for tactics in order to help them sell their homes faster, right? So what we've done is we kind of scoured and looked through experience, through articles, stuff like that, statistics, as to what statistics as to what are top things that you can do, right? And what we kind of narrowed it down to is staging, landscaping, renovations, and photography, right? So the first one, I keep kicking this mic. The first one that I want to do is talk about staging.
Okay.
And what's really interesting about staging is when it first started being done, staging was normally used in the lower income homes, the lower priced homes.
Yep.
And that makes
it a lot in fix and flips.
Yes. And that's
what is staging?
So staging is setting up your home in a way that benefits the sale. And what I mean by that is making it look sale ready, right? So as an example, and I'll throw it up on the screen here. If you walk into a home and it looks cluttered and it looks like, hey, the couch isn't matching the end tables, the fireplace has cracks on it, stuff like that, that doesn't have things that look nice to the buyer. It's not perceived well. Versus, I want to walk in and picture the changes that I can make. Everything looks, I don't want to say perfect, but structured. It's structured enough to where the buyer goes in and can imagine either living in it in that way or making it easy for them to reimagine how they want it. Right? So with that being said, like I said earlier, it was done in lower cost homes, right? And now what we're seeing is because of the benefit of what staging can do, homes now that are 700,000 plus are using it more than homes that are lower. And when you think about it, you have shows like $1 Million Listing, all these shows that emphasize basically production ready homes.
Sure.
That's going to lead to that, right? And I mean, it's not just a hearsay.
No.
Right? And when you think about it too, right?
It's scientifically based.
Exactly. There's statistics, numbers. Thank you, math. Right? And what you see is on average, people are going to spend, there's two different ways that you can do staging, right? You can either do it monthly for whole home or you can do it per room, right? The average per room cost is anywhere between $400 to $700 a month. And then you average whole home could range anywhere between $17,000 and $2,500 on the high end.
$1,700 to $2,500.
Yeah, $1,700 to $2,500. Yeah,
per month.
Per month. But and when you hear that as a seller, you're gonna go, wait. That means if my house sits for two months, 60 days, I'm gonna spend an extra $4,000. Yeah, but what if I told you that staging a home on average nets you 8 to 10% ROI, return on investment? You make 8 to 10% more just for spending that $1,700 to $2,200.
Well, and I'll be honest too, if you have a fully staged home, nicely staged. And when we talk about staging, guys, it could be a lot of different things, right? Let's say you have an empty room in your house. A stager will come in and put 2 chairs like this, right? If this is your style you're getting, which probably not, I wouldn't recommend it, but it is what it is, to each his own. Matching end tables, succulent plants and some nice pottery, a lamp, and they essentially stage it to make it look like it's a well cared for, lived in space.
Exactly.
Right? If you have that throughout a vacant home, and that home has been sitting in this market, I just said, yes, listings are up, closed are down, 3,800 homes. That's not a lot. Like I want to emphasize that is not a lot of new homes on the market.
No.
You add that on to the homes that ran over from January, you may be talking about 5,000 homes total in the Denver metro area, which has a population of almost 2 million. It's not a lot of homes, right? So my point is, if you have it staged like that for 2 months and it's sitting, there's something else wrong. It's probably pricing. Just throwing it out there.
Well, and not only that, the reason I bring up the time on market, right, is because another statistic of staging is that you are going to sell your home 40 to 60 days earlier than you would have regardless, right? So the way to look at that, guys, is would you spend, let's go mid-ground, let's go $2,000. Would you spend $2,000 to make 8? We'll go 8 low, right?
Yeah.
I would do that every day, especially because just by paying for the staging and doing the staging, I'm lessening my fear of paying for the staging.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna sit on market as long.
Yes.
So
But
give you better opportunity.
You have to have a strategy, right? Because I've also had people will stage houses, but will overprice them and think that the staging is going to fix the fact that the house is overpriced.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if you're staged for 30 days and you have 25 people come into that house and it's nicely staged and nobody wants to make an offer, it's not the staging.
Yes.
It's most likely the price.
Yep.
So you have to have a strategy with your realtor, whoever that is, to make sure, yes, I'm going to spend money on this to make my home more appealing.
Yes.
But I also need to make sure I'm aware of the other factors, because with a low inventory environment, you should be selling your house quicker.
Yep.
Honestly, if it's priced right,
Yeah.
and it's staged, it should go relatively quick.
Yeah, and just for the viewers, for you guys at home, just to give you a little bit more of a psychological background on it, right? What I'm going to do for you guys here is I'm going to throw two pictures up on the screen, and I'm only going to leave them for a couple of seconds. And what I want you to do is think about your knee-jerk reaction, okay? So picture 1 and picture 2. Now, which one would you rather go with?
Yep.
And that's our point right there, is regardless of what you think, our natural instinct is to go to the place that looks neater, the place that looks nicer.
I mean, walk into any new build community and go into their model homes.
Mm-hmm.
They are staged to the nines,
Yep.
including wall features,
Yep.
lighting, light fixtures. They do that for a reason.
What is it called? The white glove standard?
Yes.
Right.
So if I go into, and I just did one, if you guys follow me on TikTok, I did a walkthrough on a Toll Brothers house. And we walk through, and they purposely add features that you can't physically get from the builder, aka a entire accent wall with shiplap.
Yep.
Or a 3-dimensional accent wall, or a fully stone veneer fireplace that goes up 20 feet. They add those. Now, if I go and build that same house for $1.2 million, guess what? If I say, hey, can I get that accent wall? You know what they're going to tell me? No. That's not the point. The point is, I walked in and I saw the potential.
Mm-hmm.
And human beings are visual creatures. Hence why we do this podcast on video.
Yep.
Right? We could do it just audio. We wouldn't get the same reaction, because people are visual creatures.
100%.
And when you're buying something, you want it to be visually appealing. Think about any marketing strategy ever. One of the best ones, and I think I'll always remember this, Apple.
Yep.
When they came out with the AirPod Nano, and they had their commercial was like a white silhouette with the wired earphones, dancing with a bright flashing background, right?
Yep.
And then the really cool song in the background. That thing was the best-selling thing of all time.
Yep.
During that time period when MP3 was, and they were going against a bunch of different people, right? Zune, Sony Walkman, a bunch of different things, right?
Yeah.
They had a simple marketing plan, but what they did is they made it visually appealing, because they know people. And ever since, if you watch an Apple event, if you watch an Apple commercial, they are so hung up on the visuals because they understand that if it's pleasing to the human eye, we are more likely to purchase it.
Yep.
And that is the exact same reason why staging can work so well in somebody's home.
Well, and to that point too, to our next point of helping sell is renovations, right? A lot of people, now we're talking costs just like we did with staging. A lot of people go, wait. You want me to repaint? You want me to spend that? You want me to change the carpet? You want me to? I'll tell you what. I did a showing this last weekend.
Yep.
And we walked in, and the first 3 things that the people commented on were the outdated cabinets, the rugs, and the hardwood floors. So, yes, change them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because that's the first thing. But again, when your agent asks you to, and when even if you want to do it yourself, it is because the return on investment has been proven that if you put that work in, you will make more money on the back end.
Yeah. And people complicate renovations, right? Like when I say renovations, I go, oh my God, I got to redo my kitchen.
Yep.
Not necessarily. Hire a contractor that can paint your cabinets white if you have stainless steel appliances. Okay. If you want to recarpet, I just went over this with one of our vendors. So a 1,500 square foot home to get brand new carpet ripped and replaced, you can do it for $2,000.
Yeah.
Right. That $2,000, if you have stained carpet and you have the time and the ability to just rip it out and then put new carpet in, it makes a massive difference. It's $2,000.
Yep.
But if that $2,000 gets 15 more people interested in your house, you're going to make $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 extra on your home.
Yep.
Fresh coat of neutral paint. We talk about that all the time. JC, one of my mentors, the reason we have this glass here at the front, he was famous because I went house shopping with him before I was a realtor, while he was a realtor. And I swear to God, dude, every house, he'd be like, you know what I would do on this house? I'm like, what's up? He goes, paint the walls gray and white. He wouldn't let people paint his own house because his brain was always in the resale mode.
Yeah.
And like, his wife would be like, hey, I'd love to paint this like a nice accent wall with blues and reds. No, why not? Because if we resell the house, we're just going to paint it over.
Yeah.
Right. But it's because it's like simple, cheap stuff. Yes, you can spend money on a major kitchen renovation, right? Let's say you spend $20,000 on a kitchen renovation. Average return on investment, ROI, is 70%. Okay. A lot of people think, well, if I spend $20,000 on a kitchen renovation, I'm going to be able to at least get $20,000 plus some. Not necessarily. The goal is to make your home more appealing.
Exactly.
And the balancing act is if it's for you, that's different, right? If you're going to do it to just make your own life, like if I were to finish my base in my house right now, I'm not doing it as a resale standpoint. I'm doing it so I have more space in my home. Will it get me more money on my house? Sure. But for example, if I add a bedroom and a bathroom, if you had a bedroom, it's anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 on the purchase price per bedroom. Bathrooms, call it $5,000 to $7,000 on the purchase price for a bathroom, right? Okay. So if I finish a basement, I'm going to add, call it $20,000. Okay. Just for the bedroom and bathroom that I finished the basement. The basement's going to cost me $60,000. So then I might get another 20 to 30 value out of having a wet bar with a little rec area, whatever it is. So essentially I'm all in at $60,000. I'm going to get 50 back. But again, I'm paying off the principal of my house. So when I do want to sell it in 5 years or whatever that is, and I had a finished basement, it's finished square feet, it's an extra bedroom, extra bathroom, instead of being able to sell my house at $700,000, I might be able to sell it at $750,000. And in those years, if I paid down the principal enough, it could make sense.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I mean, the biggest thing about the renovations that I personally want to drive home is don't look at the cost up front and get scared of it, right?
Yeah.
And in everything that we say, it all comes down to do what's right for you, right? If it's in the budget, do it. If it's not, don't. But understand that this isn't just something that agents that we're saying that other agents say because we want you to spend money. Because we're going, we want to make more money on this, so please do this. That is besides the fact. It's the fact of when you were in a market like this, where now you're gonna have to do some things that make your property stand out.
Correct.
These are the things that if you spend $2,000 here, $3,000 there, you're gonna make an extra $25,000 to $40,000.
Yeah.
So, don't be short-minded on it. Step back, breathe it out, and truthfully work it out. And if you see the value and you and your realtor genuinely say, hey, look, if we do this, we can sell and we can get this price, do it. If not, don't.
Or, I mean, it makes, so for example, I have a client right now that needs to sell their house quickly. We don't have time to make renovations, remove carpet, so on and so forth. So we're going to list. We're going to put on the market. We're going to get feedback. We're going to see what people say. It's an older carpet. Interior needs probably some updating. And we're going to figure out, hey, what is this worth in this market, right? It could be, hey, inventory is low. People are going to buy it anyway. Fantastic. If we had more time, I would suggest some small, cheap things, paint, carpet, refinish the floors, and be done. And then you'll get that investment. So from the stat man, since you guys missed me for that 1 week, I'm going to give you guys just a couple of, so I'm going to leave out exterior renovations because we're going to talk about that with curb appeal. But interior renovations, I'm going to give you guys, and this is from 2023, so this takes into account the labor costs that we've got, supply chain issues, inflation, all that good stuff, to give you guys an idea of if you were to renovate something, what your expected return on investment would be. So if you guys are ready, we'll go minor kitchen renovation, right? So we're talking maybe repaint the cabinets, redo the kitchen countertops, and add in some new appliances, roughly. Okay. So that normally right now will cost around $26,000 on average for a minor kitchen renovation. Your resale value you get is about $18,900. So that's about a 72% return, which is good. And you get to enjoy the kitchen while you're still living there. Another big one we talk about is bathroom remodels. So if you do a bathroom remodel mid-range, which you'll see in a lot of fix and flips, which is essentially tear out the tub, tile the shower, new vanity, new flooring, efficient toilet, and a mirror, that's going to cost you about $20,000 to $24,000. Your return is about $14,600.
I mean, I'll be real with you. I love my bathroom. Like I said, my girlfriend just recently moved in with me. It's been wonderful. And the one thing I told her was, I get the bathroom. Like, I would 100% be that person that walks in and be like, wow, look at that tub. They put some extra effort into it. I'm going to consider this a little bit more because you know what? Damn it, I like baths, and I'm not afraid to say it.
I don't like baths, but I see where you're coming from.
Oh, trust me, I got the whole setup going.
So here's another big one that people fight me on all the time: major kitchen remodel.
Yes.
So And if you go on Instagram, there's some cool pages that do like full kitchen remodels that are, I mean, this on average is $75,000.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of people go, oh, if I spend 75 grand to just completely change my kitchen layout, everything, I'm going to get my money back. On average, 57% return. So if you spend 75,000, you're going to recoup about 44.
So what you're telling me is it's better to renovate your bathroom than your entire kitchen.
So take a bath, baby.
Damn
Or
right, baby.
Renovate or go crazy, major renovation on the kitchen, add a bathtub in the kitchen.
Boom. I mean, dude,
You know what I'm saying?
you just changed the game.
If you're slow cooking some pork shoulder,
Baby, you got
feed hours?
You're gonna be feeding me grapes in the kitchen.
just saying.
In my kitchen bathtub.
Hey, look, numbers don't.
Perfect.
Hey, ball don't lie.
That's wonderful.
Ball don't lie. So yeah, it's not everything.
Yeah.
And there's a cost for it. And again, we're dealing with inflation still. It's coming down, but that's also affecting some of the ROI. So it's good. And another interesting point about this you guys got to realize is certain renovations will do better or worse depending on the specific neighborhood
Absolutely.
and price point that you're in, right? So a major kitchen renovation upscale is going to work really well in an upscale neighborhood. It may not actually work in a lower income neighborhood because the simple fact is the seller's going to want a certain amount of return on back for that, and you may not be able to afford it based on the price point you're looking for. So again, that's the benefit of working with a highly knowledgeable local expert is to say, hey, you know what? In this area, that might make more sense to keep the kitchen the same, but let's update the bathrooms.
Yes.
It's cheaper. People will, they use them obviously every single day, and it won't affect the price point of the house. So you're still going to be able to attract the buyers that you're attracting.
Yep. And again, it's all about build it out, look at it, look at the budget, see if it makes sense for you, right? And ultimately, sorry guys, but it's up to you.
It is.
You know what I mean? Renovations, curb appeal, whatever it is, can only do so much as you're willing to do, as you're willing to put the effort in.
Correct.
Right? And unfortunately, self accountability is something that is a little bit lost.
Yeah. If I tell a client, hey, here's the deal, I think we need to do about $25,000-$30,000 renovations to get a certain price that you're looking for, and that client tells me no, that's fine.
Yep.
I'm just here to explain the reasoning behind why, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, I don't make any more money if you spend $25,000 at all. It has nothing to do. You hired me to sell your home. I'm telling you the best way to do that for the price point that you want to get. If you want to follow that along or not, and we can take our chances, that's fine too.
Yep.
Just be prepared. Again, as we get more inventory on the market and buyers are having more choices and they're still stingy with their money, you're going to have to find different ways to stand out.
Yep. And again, I'm going to do it just for the continuity of it. I'm going to go ahead and throw up picture 1 and picture 2. Which one did you like? Yep. Right? Again, perfect example. But
also, don't get me started on virtual staging.
Yeah. Well, that's
fuck virtual staging.
Welcome to 2020.
Oh my God, it's awful.
My girlfriend used to work for Lazy Boy, and they had a whole program for exactly that to set it out. And I can't tell you how often people would be like, "Wait a second, this isn't the same."
No,
it's weird. It's computer generated. It's weird. What are you talking about?
It's weird. It's like, am I buying a Pixar movie or am I buying a house? Congratulations, you now own Finding Nemo's Sea Anemone,
right?
With a couch. Enjoy.
Well, and we've talked about some of the larger cost things, right? Like staging, $2,000 a month. Renovations can go anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000, $75,000, right?
Or you paint the walls for $2,000 and call it good,
right? But there's also little things that a lot of people don't think about, and that really ties into curb appeal.
Yes.
Right? And while we were looking, during my research, something that really kind of struck me was the front door.
Oh, dude. So think about it, but continue.
Right? Well, and it makes sense, obviously, the first, again, with the pictures that we've been throwing up, it makes sense, like, hey, yeah, but not a lot of people think about it. If you've been living in a house for 10 years, how many times are you walking in with stuff in your hands, you're kicking the door open, right? You're holding the door open. How often is your door getting berated and hit? You have salt on your patio, you have whatever it is. That door is the entranceway to your house. It welcomes people.
I have a 3-year-old that bangs on my door with sticky fingers all the time.
Right? Yeah. And so
I don't think anything of it because it's adorable.
But
if I were to sell my house, people are like, do you have a tiny gremlin that lives here?
Right.
Probably.
Yeah. With little dents, whatever it is. Again, it comes down to the visual. It comes down to that first initial view of, oh, wow, okay. And then on top of that, not only repainting your door, and that's a lot of the time, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to, and I'll be honest with you, my grandmother just replaced her front door like 6 months ago, and she called me. She was like, yeah, I spent $3,000 on my front door.
Yeah.
That is beyond me. But hey, if doors are your thing, like I said, bathrooms are my thing. If doors are your things, go for it, baby. Do you.
So here's, just to delve in a little bit again to the psychology of marketing. Okay. So we both come from a Best Buy background.
Yep.
And if you guys visited Best Buys back in the 90s, early 2000s, very cluttered, boxes of TVs all over the floor. And as you walk in, your first thought is, I'm going to get a deal.
Yep.
Discount City, whatever it is. Okay. Now go walk into an Apple store. Two things about Apple stores that people, for some reason, still blow their mind when I tell them this. Number one, brightly lit, well organized, not a ton of product on the floor. Everything is within reach, but it's very structured.
Yep.
Number two, they don't have price tags.
100%.
Okay. Why don't they have price tags? Because Apple understands that the visibility of the store and their marketing plan means that people just don't give a fuck.
Yep.
If an AirPod costs $299, if an iPad Pro costs $1,100, it doesn't matter. They already walked in making that decision. But if you walk into an Apple store versus walking into a Sears, both places could sell the exact same product, right? However, people are more likely to go buy it at a higher price at an Apple store than they are at a Sears or a Target. I don't even want to talk about Sears. Sears doesn't even fucking exist.
Well, I mean, but
either way,
Apple,
doesn't matter.
right?
So the point is, for the front door, right? What the first thing you see sets the tone for the rest of the journey in the house. That's it. If it is a nice front door with clean steps, no clutter on the patio, it's inviting, it's welcoming, then there could be little issues inside the house that are now overlooked because the first impression was so good that they don't care.
Yeah.
The flip side is also true.
Well, and what I was going to bring up is just the power of marketing, right? Think about, just to kind of talk about a little bit of what's going on currently in the news. We see a lot of the stuff about TikTok being banned, right? And the security, whatever it is. If you dig into that, Facebook spent millions of dollars to do a marketing campaign. That's all it was a marketing campaign against TikTok. And it's working. It worked. But that is the value of marketing, right? Understanding the human psyche enough that, I'm sorry guys, but marketing is mental manipulation. That's the point of marketing. It is to find ways to make you want to buy the product, right? So applying that to real estate, something as small as your front door in the entryway can do huge things. But now let's talk about something that's even bigger, landscaping.
Yes.
Right? And a lot of people don't even think about that. Like, oh no, I don't need to edge my lawn. Again, picture one, picture two. Which one did you guys like more? Right? And that's the whole thing. People don't realize that, you're gonna spend a little bit to get your landscaping done, but what that's gonna do is net you 9 to 14% more on your entire sale price.
Right.
Just by cutting the grass, trimming it, and doing something as simple as power washing your driveway.
So if you're talking a $600,000 home, you're saying you can make $60,000 extra dollars
just for doing your lawn. Right. Like and that's the thing is, it sounds simple, right? It sounds stupid, but that is the power of visuals.
Well, and part of the reason it makes such a big impact is because if I am seeing your home for the first time and I want to buy your house, and I see an unkempt lawn, I see, cracked driveway that's not been taken care of, I see clutter here, whatever it is, my initial thought is this individual does not take care of this house. You have no pride, homeownership pride, right? That then leads me to believe, well, inside, what else did they take care of? Did they not take care of the furnace? Did they not change out the filters? Did they not clean their toilets regularly? Did they not get a sewer line inspection?
Well,
Are
to
there
go back,
leaks that they're just ignoring?
Well, and to go back to the showing that I had this weekend, again, it was great. I will say that the home is a little bit overpriced based on what it is, but the buyers, not me, the buyers looked at me and said, once an inspector or an appraiser gets in here, this home is going to have to come down, right? So even the consumer, even the person looking, can look and go, well, they didn't take care of the grout here. Right. The carpet looks like shit here. Right. So what else is wrong? If you dig in, you're gonna do some stuff. So again, marketing, sales tactics, disarm them at the door. Put the work in.
So to your point, I just two very quick stories. Yep. Number one, I sold a $1.26 million house up in Larkspur. Okay. These guys had purchased the house, actually purchased the land, built the house from the ground up in 2007. We bought it in 2021, right? It's just 2 years ago. And these individuals, the owners, were immaculate. Okay. I took my clients to go see the house. There's all these flora and rock paths and a little water feature. That was the first thing they comment on. They say, oh my God, this is beautiful. It blends in. This is amazing. It looks like it's well taken care of. The bush is well taken care of. Shrubs were, cleared.
Yeah.
Here's a 5-acre lot. Beautiful, right? Price of 1.2. We go inside. Floors needed to be redone, right? But again, it was at that point, it was what, 2010, 21, 11, so 14 years old, right? Older house.
Yeah.
We go downstairs to the basement. Every single time, once we went under contract and before every showing, they had the vacuum lines in the carpets, right?
Oh,
and
that
I noticed it, but my buyers were like, I love it.
Oh,
I go, just out of curiosity, like, why do you guys love it?
I'm sorry,
because it's just
that's euphoric for me. You
right.
said that, and I just literally
got chills, right? I know. So they did that, but here's what happens, right? So you've got vacuum lines. It's well taken care of. Obviously, pride of home ownership. When it came down to us now having to compete against a different offer, my clients did not hesitate to go $50,000, $100,000 over. We were 1.2. We ended up at 1.265. That's $65,000 over asking just to win the house, because then they knew once they got in, there wasn't going to be any issues, right? Second story, and this is nothing. This is shout out to Chris Rosa, my cousin. So if you're watching this, he has a house up right off of like Parker and 225. Right?
Okay.
Really cute neighborhood.
Yep.
But he's very good at renovating. Like his backyard's beautiful. He's got a beautiful patio, outdoor kitchen he did. Nice. But the first thing I noticed is he took his house number and has this really cool wooden sculpture with a house number, with a little spotlight, walking up to this nice rock path. And if he were to ever sell that house, I guarantee you that is the first thing somebody's going to notice. Because it's unique, number one. Not every house has that, but it welcomes you into the house. And you essentially set the tone. When you walk into my cousin's house, you go, oh, that's really cool. And then you go to the rest of the house. He's done a great job with the rest of the house as well. But now so you start noticing the nuances of what he's done to the rest of the house. Then you go out to the patio and you go, oh my God, the same time and energy and effort got put into that on the patio. And if I were to look at the house, I'd be like, it
sets the stage for your mentality.
Exactly. And it was something as simple as a house number on this wooden post, spotlit. So if you drive by it at night in the evening, looks fantastic. His front area is perfectly clean and manicured, and it separates it from a lot of the other houses on the same street.
Hey, Chris, send us a picture of your house so I can throw
You should. Yes, you should send a picture of the house because I love it. I talk about it all the time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well,
and two examples, right? But it's something simple.
Yeah, and then again, simple, right? Small thing. We've all seen it. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, whatever, YouTube, there's entire videos of people cutting lawns. There's entire videos of people that are doing power washing. Millions of subscribers for these videos. And I'm sorry for you to sit here and tell me, no, that doesn't make a difference. People are spending time, they're sitting there watching this guy edge grass. And at the end of the day, it's fucking fantastic. I love it.
My mom, to this day, right? She's in her 60s. She refuses, and I'm looking at you because I know you're watching this, refuses to let anybody else mow her lawn. Because she has a specific way that she wants those diamonds to be cut. And if you ever go to her house and you look in that backyard, you go, holy shit, this is a nice backyard.
That's beautiful.
It is edged to the nines. Like, I swear to God, she takes a protractor and a level and goes through. But if she were to ever sell the house, right, and she never will because it's a beautiful home here in Castle Rock, but if she were, her curb appeal would stand out against almost everybody else in the neighborhood.
Well, and just quickly to go through it, talking about the YouTube channel and stuff like that, power washing, right? Power washing your driveway, the sidewalk in front of your home. If your home is crisp and clean versus the 2 to 3 that are next to you, and it is literally shining, the color of your pavement is shining through, it's going to make your house stand out. And guess what? How much do you think it costs to rent a power washer?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
$48 for a day at Home Depot. $48. And you can raise your home price. By what? What would you say? It was 8%, 10%?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So just power wash for $48.
Well, we found out. So from a statistic standpoint, landscaping is a 100% ROI. If you spend $30,000 on landscaping, you're going to get at least $30,000 back, potentially more. Especially, and the way I look at it, right? Like, we look at the tract homes. Okay. A lot of people would love land, privacy, whatever. But, and again, you have to do it tastefully, right? So make sure you get a professional involved. But if I have a tract home, I'm doing it in my own house. and I have a neighbor on one side. I'd like some privacy with some trees and shrubs and whatnot. If I'm looking at purchasing a home, I will pay for that.
Yes.
Because not everybody has it. But if I know I can go to my backyard in a tract home community, but still maintain privacy from my neighbors, I'll pay extra.
I'm real weird. Straight up. I rarely have my blinds open because I don't want people to see it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything, but it's just a thing. Like, it's a privacy thing. And I'm 100%.
Yep.
Absolutely. When I'm ready to buy a home.
But landscaping is a 100% ROI, just so you guys know, if not more. I've seen statistics where it's 139%, 300%.
Yep.
Just for keeping your lawn and your landscaping. So,
well, and to that point, now think about our last point, photography, right? And you know, we talked about it in the past, and it is a little bit of a pain point for real estate agents because as you get these for sale by owners, people who, as we've seen on the TikTok channel, think that they don't need real estate agents. And again, if you don't, good for you. If you do, I got you. We're here for you. We'll help you out. But
I'm just thinking of meat tweets.
Meat tweets. Yeah.
We're going to do an episode.
But photography in itself can completely change the game for you.
And there's a very specific reason why.
Yep.
97% of potential home buyers start their search online, which means the first time they're seeing your house, probably the second and the third after they send it to their spouse and their dad and their mom and their cousin saying, hey, check out this house, is looking at the photo.
Photography. And again, I'm going to put it up for you guys. Picture 1,
taken by a Motorola Razr,
and picture 2,
taken by somebody who actually has photography skills.
And that's it too. You know, Oscar touched on it episodes ago, but these photographers, and I'll tell you, I bought a camera and I'm looking, and the lens that I have to get in order to take photography of homes accurately is $500. That is
just the lens, not even the camera.
No, just the lens, just the lens itself, right? So there is reason behind it.
On top of their skills of lighting and dimensions and angles and editing and everything.
People don't realize that photographers now have the ability with technology to remove a cloudy sky above your home and make it a clear sky or like a blue sky. That is incredible, right? The ability to literally now you're altering what the home looks like in different areas. It's wonderful what they can do with it.
No, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You keep talking. I'm going to look up because I saw the statistic earlier and I want to make sure.
Well, and the thing that comes down to it for photography for me is, can you do it with a cell phone? Absolutely. Should you? No. It's what it comes down to. Because
you can if you want us to make fun of you.
Yeah, exactly. And have homes sold with cell phone camera photos? Yeah, absolutely. But again, we're talking about things that you can do that put you in a better position to sell your home.
Well, and here's the deal, right? This just blows my, excuse my French, blows my fucking mind. As a realtor, I pay for the photography.
Yep.
So when I see a realtor not do it, that blows my mind.
Well, and that was a point that I was going to bring up, was that is another reason to look at your agent, because when I went to
nothing to do, like, you guys don't pay. Yeah, pay for that at all.
Well, and when I went to the listing appointment with JC that one time, that was one of his big points was, hey, I am going to pay for this photographer because I know this photographer and I know that they will put your home in the best light to sell. And again, to talk about the value of a real estate agent, if you don't want to use a real estate agent to sell your home because you're worried about the cost and what they're going to get, guys, as somebody who's been in the real estate industry now for a year, coming from other industries, restaurant, retail, the whole point of this position, the whole point of this job is networking. It's more, this is the definition of, it's not what, it's who, right? Having the knowledge to sell homes and stuff like that. Yes, you're right. You can get that online. But somebody like Oscar, who's been in the business for 18 years, like I said, I went to a Nuggets game with Oscar. We didn't get 3 rows in to the seating before he said hi to 18 people. That is another value point that you're adding. They know the right people. They have vetted and talked to them and said, hey, you're going to get me the best bet, and that's why I'm going with you.
So here's 3 quick statistics to back up the photography. Number 1, I think the most important, because we talk about all the time, right? Like, your pockets. What are you going to net? Again, this is crazy to me because I don't even know what the percentage is. If I spend $0 and I make 18,000, it's 18,000% return on investment, right?
Yeah.
Roughly. Check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So real estate photography, if done by a professional, done correctly, will garner anywhere from $2,000 to $18,000 on top of the purchase price.
Yep.
Now, somebody goes, well, why is that? Simple, right? The reason that happens is because we talked about it, right? We're up to 97% start their home search online. Photography draws 60% more viewers to your home if it's professionally done. You had video tours, it's 75%. That's where you get that $18,000 increase. Not because the photos themselves make the house sell for more, but you get more eyeballs, more competition.
Even welcome to 2023. We have virtual reality.
And then
put goggles on and walk through a house.
And here's the third part. Roughly 80% of homeowners make a decision based on emotions.
Yep.
So in order, if you talk about marketing, right, super simple. I need somebody to look at your house. Sorry, let me get back to the mic. I need someone to look at your house and be emotionally invested.
Yes.
Number one. Now, once I have that one person who's emotionally invested, I need 80 people to look at your house and be emotionally invested. Because what happens is, if I have 80 individuals that are emotionally invested in your house due to professional photography, videography, 3D tours, drone photos, whatever, now I've got 80 emotionally invested people competing for your home, which now means you get a higher price offered on your home.
Cue the Gotta meme.
That's it. Literally, that's it,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Like it is a marketing game. And if your agent, and we talk about this, I don't know if we talk about this podcast, there's a couple of like 1%, like I'm going to flat rate fee, list your house or whatever. And they go, we do professional photos. It's not. They're not. And the reason they're not is because we pay for the photos.
Yep.
If I do, just so you guys understand, if I market your house correctly and I do professional photography, 25, 30 photos, and I'm going to peel back the onion on this so you guys really understand what the cost is. Drone photos, drone tour, 3D mapping, so I can do a little virtual walkthrough, and then a listing website that garners leads, gets blasted out, SEO, search engine optimization on Google, Facebook, whatever it is. I'm spending roughly $1,000.
Yep.
Okay. I'm good with that. A flat rate listing agent will not be good with that because that eats into the fact that they're not making a ton of money on the house. I only make as much on that house as we sell it for.
Yep.
And if we don't sell it, I don't make anything. So I'm okay with gambling, understanding based on what I just told you guys, right? 97% start their home search online. 80% of decisions for home buyers are based on emotion if you take out investors.
Yep.
Professional photography gets 60% more eyeballs on your property. And at the end of the day, that is going to net you anywhere from $2,000 to $18,000 to $20,000 more in asking price because of those other three factors.
No brainer.
I'll spend $1,000 to make you $18,000.
100%. And then on the flip end, again, note what he said. He'll spend $1,000 not because he's going to make more money on the transaction, but because overall it makes you more money on the sale. And that's something that I really want to drive home is that we don't.
Well, dude, look at it this way, right? So what did I just say? I'm going to make you $18,000 more on your house.
Yeah.
Okay. This is for the real estate agent haters out there. So
Yeah.
I want you guys to fucking pay attention. If I make you $18,000 on your home, do you know how much that nets me?
Give it to him.
Well, 1%'s $180. 2%'s $360. Another 0.8%, so we'll call it $460, $560, $550. Maybe an extra $550. If I make you $18,000 more, I make $540. I just told you I spend $1,000 minimum on photos and videos and drone tours and all that shit every time I list a house. So what I'm telling you is I am spending $1,000 to make negative $660 so that you can make $18,000. Like I need you guys to understand that.
Yes.
But I do it because my fiduciary duty is to make you as much money as I possibly can on your home, and this is one of the easiest ways.
And to the people who talk about car sales, real estate agents are going to be selling cars.
We don't have enough whiskey.
Well, no. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, but I care more about the referral business than I do about your $500.
I care more about the experience and making sure people want to use me for whatever.
And that's what I mean by the referral business is I care more so that when you speak my name and say Charlie Sardelli is my realtor,
it's a brand.
You feel confident and you feel happy about that.
It's a brand.
Exactly.
The people that say, hey, we realtors make too much, you bought an iPhone versus an Android. Sorry.
I like it. All right. Ooh, we finished that heated. I love it. So now I think it's time to move into our one rock takeaway.
Let's do it. Also, I love you guys. I really do.
Yes.
And I do love I love the comments, even if they're negative. I'm totally fine with taking constructive criticism if it's constructive. If you're just gonna tell me you fucking hate me, I don't care. But if it's constructive, let's have a dialogue.
Yeah.
Hell, come on the podcast.
It gives me an opportunity to learn.
Exactly.
Right?
So
Exactly.
love all you guys. Thank you guys for the support.
Thank you. All right, so one rock takeaway for this week's topic is don't be scared of an upfront cost. Look at your budget.
Yep.
See the benefit that you can get. Yeah, exactly. Well, just overall, whatever you're going to spend, staging, renovations, landscaping, don't look at overall cost and get scared.
Mm-hmm.
Break it down. Work with somebody in finance, work with yourself, work with your agent, and see if it's viable for you.
Yeah. Mine is it takes less money than you think to get your house or to get more eyeballs on your house. We talk about landscaping. We talk about curb appeal.
Yep.
It could be as simple as hiring your neighbor to come mow your lawn twice a week for the time that you have your house listed and edge it and put the rocks away so they're not spilling into the driveway. It doesn't take a lot, guys.
That was good.
You know,
That was real good.
right?
I like
that one?
Real good.
I like it. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't cost as much as you guys think. Painting the interior of a 2,000 square foot house might cost you $2,500. If it nets you $4,000 extra dollars, cool, you're good. Carpet, $2,000, nets you an extra $2,000, you're cool. It doesn't take a lot. If you want to do the major renovations and you're doing it for the sole purpose, like Joey said, then consult with us and we'll tell you straight up, yeah, you need to do it or no. Don't worry about it. It's a waste of money. Yep.
All right. I'm excited to do the rock rating on this guy. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was
Surprised, huh?
yeah, 100%, 100%. And now that it's been
Shout out to Jordan Ortega. He is one phenomenal realtor here in Crystal Valley, in Castle Rock, and in Colorado. He's fantastic. But he turned me on to Blue Note back about 3 years ago. So
I am pleasantly surprised by this bourbon, 100%. As far as rock rating goes, you said it was $45.
$45.
As we've been sitting here, it's opened up.
Changes.
The flavor is incredible. For other bourbons that we've had at this price point, we've gotten they're higher.
I'm trying to think what's a good comparison then.
Smoke Wagon.
$5. No,
Smoke Wagon was 50, wasn't it?
60.
Okay.
That was the small batch rye was 60.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it'd probably be like the what was one of those, like 45?
Oak and Eden?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oak and Eden was 59. So
Okay.
that's probably a good comparison though.
Yeah. And I mean, the reason
That was also toasted.
yes, and the reason that I brought out the Smoke Wagon and even Oak and Eden now is because, like you said, toasted barrel, right? The complexity on this thing, especially after it's been open and sitting, is phenomenal.
Yep.
The flavor on this is incredible.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna put it up there.
Do it.
It's a 2.
I love it.
It's a 2 for me.
Yes.
I
love
It's
it.
a 2 for
I
me.
love it.
100%.
I love it.
Yeah.
I agree because as we've done these, right, it's kind of fun because we've kind of evolved from a whiskey standpoint, being able to taste different flavors and whatnot. And one of the things you've brought up since the beginning, I'm starting to realize it now. As you let a whiskey or a bourbon open up, it morphs. Like it changes as the oxygen hits the liquor for the first time. It starts to release some of the tannins. You get some different flavor profiles that weren't there from the very beginning. We talk about the neck pour all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, like this probably started out between a 2.5 and a 3.
Yeah.
And now it's a 2 for me as well.
Solid.
So I look at it and
I would say it started out as a 4 for me.
yeah,
honestly.
I was about a 3 because I still could get the complexity.
Yes.
That burn was just a little overwhelming. But if you compare it to the Oak and Eden, which again, not gimmicky, it has its point, but it does the little oak spiral in there to kind of give it some extra flavor.
Yep.
And the Oak and Eden is $59. This is $45, so $15 cheaper. This is more complex to me.
100%. The flavor profile.
I think it finishes the same, but it's more complex. And the other reason I'm going to give it over Oak and Eden was a 80 proof.
Yeah.
This is 100.
Well, and that's what I was even going to say was, yes, Oak and Eden had flavor, but it had the flavor because of the freshness. This one is done traditionally, right? Using the French oak, 100%. The flavors, the complexity of the flavor here versus Oak and Eden. If we're using that as a basis point, phenomenal.
Well, I figured it's 2 toasted barrels right around the same price point. But yeah, I think the flavor profile for this is way more complex. It's changed over the course of this last hour.
Yep.
Which I think is fantastic. $45. It's a special release, right? They do bottle this, but it's not year round.
Yep.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I think that's
this
how
might
many
be the next
twos have we-
bottle I buy for the house.
How many twos have we given?
3, maybe 2,
Right?
maybe 3. Yeah.
Smoke Wagon was one.
Yep.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the Elijah Craig. Probably,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. I think that was
So-
2.5.
2.5. So 3 very, very good bottles. But this is, I agree, this is
Yeah.
a 2.
100%
Yep.
too. Oscar, I'm sorry you missed out on it,
Dude,
man.
bro. Yeah, we'll drop it off your house.
Let's pick up this
Drop it
bottle.
off your house.
But with that being said, guys, thank you for joining us. Remember, if you want to get in contact with us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put episodes out every week. But
What's the YouTube channel at?
The Mile High Perspective.
If you guys want to get a hold of us, you want to talk to us in person, I do have a link tree on the YouTube channel that you guys can schedule a call with us. I've got the phone number. I'm going to put it here as well. 303-578-0263. It rings all of us. And then if you guys want to reach out via email, that is going to be RESOTR, so Real Estate Served on the Rocks, RESOTR at themilehighperspective.com. And again, we appreciate the support.
Yes.
We'd love comments. We'd love subscribes. We'd love likes. Help us grow the channel. If you guys find this valuable, send it to somebody that you think could benefit from the information. That's the whole reason we're doing this. If you work with us, fantastic.
Yep.
If you don't, that's okay too, because it just means that you are now more educated going into this absolutely fucking insane market with as many tools as possible to make your home shopping experience or home selling experience, whatever it is, as seamless and as enjoyable as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with that being said, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Catch you guys next week.
Thank you.